Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. Today we're going to continue our topic on HIV, something that we've been covering all week. Does anyone remember what HIV stands for? Yes, Shadia.
Human immunodeficiency virus.
That's correct, human immunodeficiency virus.
What about AIDS? Who can tell me what AIDS stands for? Tiffany.
Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome.
That's correct, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome.
So the San Antonio AIDS Foundation and UT Teen Health have helped us out to be able to get a guest speaker out here today to talk to you about HIV and AIDS and how it's played a role in their life. So help me welcome Miss Karen.
Thank you, Brianna. Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon. Anyway, it's good to be here, and I'm here to tell you about HIV and how it is to live with HIV. I'm HIV positive. I know I look good, right? But I'm HIV positive, and I live a different kind of life that you live. And hopefully, at the end of this presentation, I can inspire you not to live the kind of life that I now live. When I was growing up, I grew up on the south side of San Antonio. I went to Harlandale High School. I graduated in 1980. And all I ever wanted to do in life was to succeed. I just wanted to be somebody. My cousins, they dropped out of school. My friends dropped out of school, got pregnant. And I just wanted to be the first girl to graduate in my family. So I did that. I wasn't really interested in love and all that. I just wanted. In fact, I have a graduation card that says, if you're not studying, can you please come to your graduation party? You know, that's how I was. I was just so shy and into school. And I met this young guy. We were 16, and it was way back in 1980, and he took me to the Tower of the America. And we drove around, and he kissed me, and I said, that's gonna be the man of my dreams. I love him. In 1988, we got real serious, and we knew that we were in love. So in 1989, he called me up. I was working in surgery, and they said, hey, Karen, you got a telephone call. And he asked me to marry him. So I ran off to Florida and married the man of my dreams. When I married Ray, I was 26 years old. Never had sex with anybody, never thought of it because I grew up very conservative. Ray was 27, and we got married. And we went to Disney World on our honeymoon, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, all the characters, and we were having a fun time. We were doing what your parents did to create you. We were having our honeymoon. And we started hearing about HIV and AIDS at that time. So we're doing our thing on our honeymoon, and I told Ray, we started hearing about people dying. Ooh, people dying of HIV. And so we went and got tested. Now, mind you, it's 2 weeks into our honeymoon. We already had sex, and we went to go get tested. We didn't know anything. We just went and got tested. The test took 2 weeks to come back, and they put us in a room, and we had these people look at us, and they had our charts there, and they said, hey, Ray, you're HIV positive. He went, what? I'm HIV positive? Don't worry about it. Surely there's some way that you could live through this. And I'm like, well, what's my results? And they go, Miss Karen, you're HIV negative. So we went out. Ray was devastated. Our honeymoon was at that point was kind of over. We went back home, and I got a job, and I started working and taking care of Ray. And Ray became very ill. He had pneumonia, the type of pneumonia that HIV people get. I always thought I was tough. Was like, he's not gonna die, he's not gonna die. Well, in December 28th, 1989, he passed away. Here I am burying my husband, New Year's Day in 1990. And I'm only 27, he was only 28 when he passed away. He had a birthday, he passed away. And I'm like, what do I do with my life? I'm like, so I continue to live my life. I continued to live my life like a normal person would, still thinking that I was HIV negative. They told me I was HIV negative, right? Never had a symptom that put me in the hospital. I never had an illness from 1989 to 2007. 2007, I still was working. I was going back to school because I wanted to be a manager, working in a local hospital here in San Antonio. And I wanted to be manager. I wanted to be purchasing manager. I wanted to be the boss. And I was working 14 hours a day, going to school at night, going to University of Phoenix at night, trying to get my bachelor's degree. And I was working and I was tired, and always tired and sweating and getting sick. And everybody's like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, just overworked, I'll manage." Well, in December 2007, I ended up in a coma. Ended up in hospital. My sister took me. We lived in the country out in Lavernia, and my sister took me to the hospital, and they said, if you would not have brought her in, she would have died at home. So the doctor came in. I remember he came in, and he stood there, and he looked at me, and he said, "Miss Karen, you're HIV positive, but you progressed to AIDS already, and you're very, very sick. You need to be on medication. You probably would never work again. The disease has progressed because, you know why the disease progressed? I never got tested again. I never thought I had to get tested. I didn't know at that time, the doctor was telling me, at the time that you got tested, Miss Karen, back in the 80s, there should have been a window period. You shouldn't have got tested right away after you had sex, because there's a window period. There's a 90-day window period." I was like, "What? I never knew that. I've been in the medical field all these years. I never knew that." So out of ignorance, I never got retested, and here I am now living with AIDS. I got out of the hospital 2008. I thought my life was over. I planned my funeral. I had who was going to sing, who was going to tell a story, what pictures I wanted, what kind of casket I wanted, where I wanted to be buried, and then I wanted to be cremated and my ashes thrown on top of Ray in Florida. I had it all planned out. Was going to a funeral home, getting the cost of the funeral. And I met this advocate that was out speaking about HIV. And she was kind of my mentor, and she told me, "What are you doing planning your funeral? All you have to do is get on medication. You start living longer. You start doing good. You don't have to live that kind of life. Don't think that you're going to die because you have it. We changed. We're in 2000. I'm like, okay. So I went to the doctor, and they put me on medication. I started my medications. Started doing better. Started feeling better. I stayed faithful to my medications. In 2010, I was out traveling again. I love traveling. I love going places. I love just meeting new people and doing things. And I was going nationally to the conventions on HIV, speaking at the conventions, been to Washington, been to different places, California, going and making videos about my story and how HIV infected me. Then I got really, really tired, and I was like, I told the AIDS Foundation, I need to take a break. And I went and got checked. I had a big lump on my neck, and they checked me, and they said I had cancer. I was like, great. Now what? And so in 2010, I had to take chemo. Lost my hair. I didn't care, because to me, I am who I am, I was bald, lost my hair, lost weight. For 3 years, I battled cancer. Went away, came back. They put me on chemo. And so now I'm in remission for 2 years. To this date, I've been in remission from cancer. The bone marrow has worked. And I started going out and speaking and sharing my story again. Hopefully to inspire young people. HIV doesn't care what color you are. Doesn't care who you are. Doesn't care what you've done. It just wants to live inside your body. You end up making a mistake and not taking care of yourself and not protecting yourself, you live the life I live. My HIV medication alone, I take 2 types of medication. It's $4,000 a month. Who could afford that? If I had $4,000, I'd be traveling, man. I'd be going all over the world, be doing things. It's very, very expensive. I have to go not only to the HIV doctor, I go to the cancer doctor, I go to the lung doctor. I had to do all these things to take care of myself. Do I want that for the future of San Antonio? You got to make good choices. You are the future of San Antonio. My advice to you is abstinence. It's 100%. Wait. Wait. And then when you decide that you need to get further along in your relationship, you and your partner talk about it. Talk with your parents. Students, I want you to understand HIV is a serious disease. Yes, there's other diseases that are serious, but HIV and AIDS is very serious, and it can impact the rest of your lives forever. So hopefully I inspired you, said something in your head, clicked in your head, that you'll make right decisions. And you'll be our next future of San Antonio. Because I want to see you. I want to see you be a chemist that makes a vaccine that destroys HIV, destroys cancer, and you could do it. Now, I'm going to thank you for your time and your patience for listening to me. It's an honor to me to go out and share my story. It really is. And I hope you understand. It's not easy telling your story, but I like to share it because I want to inspire you. So I'm going to leave this time for any questions that you have.
So when you were first diagnosed as HIV negative and you never thought to ever get tested again, was that because you didn't have awareness of HIV?
It was a lack of awareness for me. I had friends and everything saying, maybe you should get retested. And I was like, I didn't. I made an ignorant decision not to get retested. That's a good question. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Did you ever feel like you were treated differently because you were diagnosed positive for HIV?
Yes. That's a good question because I didn't mention it. I was a youth leader in a church, in a country church, and I was really my best friend. Me and her were youth leaders together. She wouldn't call me. She wouldn't come and see me in the hospital. She said she didn't want to be around me because she was going to get HIV. And she was the closest to my confidant at the time. And it really, really hurt me. But I kind of made amends with her. I'm not close with her, but I made amends with her. And I've seen people treat other people bad too. So they treated my husband, Ray. They threw away towels, sheets, plates, everything that he ate on his family. I have the support of my family. My family, they're medical, so they pretty much understand HIV. But this girl evidently didn't. But we still talk, but not at a distance. That's a good question. Thank you.
Was it ever hard for you to progress in your career since you were diagnosed with HIV?
I decided just to give up my career, become an advocate for HIV, and become a volunteer and help out in ways that I could help other people too. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
How often do you get sick now?
So when I get sick, I get sick. And it's hard for people to understand, but my immune system, not only was it drained from HIV, but from the bone marrow, they also drained my immune system. So my immune system, I'm like a new baby. I just got all my vaccinations. I had to go get shots again. So my immune system is just now building back up. Hopefully, my goal in the next 6 months is to get my immune system so healthy that I won't get sick, I won't catch a cold. That's a good question. Thank you. Any more questions? We got time. This is the time.
You said it costs $4,000 a month for the HIV medication. So is that for everything or just in general?
That's just, if I was to have to pay for it, it's just for the HIV. But I'm on a special program that the AIDS Foundation got me on, and the state helps me pay for that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to take my medicine. I can't afford $4,000 a month.
Did you ever feel discouraged at any time?
Yes, to be truthful, I did. I'm kind of a person that I kind of hide things. I kind of hide my true feelings. I was like, I just can't do it. I just can't fight. But then I look at young people that become HIV positive, that's your age group, that I see in the clinic, and I'm like, I got to help them. I got to be their mentor. I got to be their advocate. I got to help them through. But I do get discouraged. I do get discouraged a lot. But I get over it. I go on. I pick up myself and go on.
What are some words of encouragement that you would give to someone who recently found out that they were HIV positive?
That life goes on after the diagnosis. Just because you get the diagnosis, HIV does not mean that you're going to die. Life goes on after HIV. Appreciate your questions. They are very, very good questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Karen.